Welcome to the Over and Under podcast. We get to talk about our favorites. It just means more, according to the SEC. We did think you were bad, but we didn't expect you to be that bad. We got a segment to talk about. And obviously, we got to talk about Deion in Colorado and what happened when they went to Lincoln, Nebraska. Red balloons everywhere. It was
Tell you
like
what happened. They
that's
trash.
in there. Anyway. So first, let me just go ahead and introduce myself. My name is Charles. It's my co-host James.
What's up?
We are the people for your college football news. Basically, everything you need to know. You need to come to Over and Under podcast. If you would, please, I always say at the beginning and the end of the show, please subscribe to this channel. Subscribe to our YouTube. All the information will be in the bio. But James, we got a lot to get to, and I just want to first go ahead and give you the floor, give you the red carpet, because you did win the game that I thought that Oregon was going to lose. Go ahead and talk about your Oregon Ducks. Tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and what do you see the season looking like?
I don't like the state of Idaho, obviously, because that's what we're struggling with. But we look good on offense. Our defense, not so much. We allowed too many points against Boise, but their running back, I forget his name, is really good. That man has 6 total touchdowns the week before, and then I think he had like 2 or 3 against us.
Yeah.
So Boise gonna be dangerous down the line for somebody. But overall, Dylan Gabriel played really well. Tez Johnson, our special teams fucking helped us, saved us in that game with the punt return and the kick return. Solid 2 touchdowns right there. But all in all, I was pretty happy with how they came out on offense. Now the defense, it's a few things we need to work on. What's it called? Stopping the run is abysmal. It looks terrible. Our secondary, they look okay, but in the trenches and stuff, when it's like, 2nd and 5, 3rd and 4, didn't look good. Let that dude run all over us, and so we got to figure something out for that. And usually our D line is like, pretty solid, not like game breakers or anything, but they hold their ground, and then our secondary is what's really is solidified for us for most years. But this year, I think it's more just our linebackers in secondary, and our D line is kind of which I think it can be fixed. But as of right now, I'm cool. Yeah, it was a closer game than I wanted it to be, but I kind of figured it was going to be a close game coming off of that Idaho game. But there's a lot of things to work on still, but we won. It's not like how what's it called, that kind of like a moral victory for Tech against ACU. It's not like that. We looked a lot better this week. So I think we'll be okay going down the line, but just, again, a few things to work on.
A hell of a stray caught by Texas Tech fans right there, but how do you feel about Dylan Gabriel? Do you feel like he'll settle in? He's settled in with the offense, or you feel like he still struggles sometimes?
No, I thought he played really way better. Well, he didn't even play bad week 1 either, but it was just more of they weren't putting it in the end zone. And this week they actually, scored like they're supposed to. So I think he's going to be just fine for the most part. Our offense looked solid. We're moving the ball up and down the field. We were throwing it down the field as well, which we weren't doing against Idaho. So I think he'll be okay.
I kind of like how y'all got bailed out when Johnson crossed I think it was Johnson, crossed the goal line with the ball. He dropped the ball.
James.
Was it James?
I think it was James, the running back.
He dropped.
Hey,
He dropped.
hey,
Yeah, he dropped
they
the
weren't
ball.
paying attention.
Hey man, he dropped the ball, and your guy just picked it up like casually, probably to give it to the ref, not knowing that you just saved the whole touchdown because he dropped it before the goal
Nah,
line.
bro, he knew he didn't cross the line, so he's like, "Hey, let me go ahead and get that tutty from me, bro."
Yeah, I
He
guess.
knew.
Yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure he did know that. But yeah, overall, I think it was a good game. Boise definitely put y'all to the test. It seems like everybody got a test this weekend,
Yeah.
So overall, it was a good win. Next week is the rivalry, so we'll see how you guys do then.
And also real quick, he threw for 243 and 2 touchdowns. And last week, he threw for like 338. If he can do this, like 240 or whatever, and 2 touchdowns, and we're scoring on not defense, special teams or defense or whatever. That's good on our part. You don't have to put so much on his plate. Like last week, I feel like he was trying to do too much, and we weren't executing that well. His numbers look good, but we just weren't executing. So I feel like the numbers aren't as high as they were in week 1, but we were executing way more like on special teams than on offense when we had our opportunities to get in the end zone. So I would take that over just 400 yards and 1 touchdown and stuff. You know what I mean?
For sure. But speaking of everyone, having struggles, I was over here panicking, bro. Alabama beats USF 42-16. Now, 42-16, you're like, Charles, why were you panicking? It was 18-16 going into the fucking fourth quarter.
Excuse
my language. 13 penalties for 123 yards and 3 turnovers made this game closer than what it had to be, bro. Now, look, Alabama, we knew that Byron Brown was going to be a high-tempo guy, right?
Yeah.
A quarterback that comes in and runs the ball, right? Came out shaky. Alabama's defense came out shaky in the first quarter. Well, actually, the first drive, because they had to adjust the USF tempo. And Brown was showing confidence running the ball. He wasn't afraid of contact. He ended the night with 23 carries, 108 yards, 15 of 35, 103 yards through the air. And I salute him for that. But I'm going to let you know something right now. They were 2 for 18 on third down conversions. All right? Put some respect on my defense name. Because my right tackle can't block for shit, and he can't stop jumping offside to stop holding, bro. Oh, my James. 120 yards in penalties.
That's crazy.
10 of them
especially for the Alabama team.
Bro, and we were honoring Nick Saban, the Saban Field at Brian Doak Stadium. We honored him. You just see him on the sideline, bro. He just shaking every penalty. He's just shaking his head like this, bro.
I saw a meme, and it's him on the sideline. It just says, "Get off my fucking field."
I felt like that last night, but they figured it out. Milroe was 17 for 27, 199 yards, 2 touchdown passes. He was sacked 3 times, right? Jam Miller had 15 carries, 140 yards. Most of those yards really came in the fourth quarter when it really counted. And then, as always, our freshman, Ryan Hollywood Williams, 17-year-old, 4 receptions, 68 yards with a crucial touchdown for Bama in the fourth. So, overall, the mental mistakes always happen. I'm glad they're happening now and not when we go play Georgia or Wisconsin next week. So hopefully we get it cleaned up. Okay. We had our game. We had our it's not, just because we're Alabama, we don't just get away with stuff game, right? We really gotta put in the work. We really gotta be the best team overall. So yeah, man. I'm telling you, my girl, I was in here. My girl's like, "Do you want to watch the game?" I was just flicking back and forth. I was just like, "I don't want to watch this, man. If they lose, I'm not gonna be able to do this podcast."
I was hoping they was gonna lose.
I know you were. I know you were. I was like, if they lose, James is never gonna let me live this down, right?
Because after I was done running, I was checking scores, and I said, "Oh, that's interesting."
Everybody was like that. They were like, "Oh, let me check the Bama score." Oh. Okay, we got a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah, for sure.
What did you think about it after you watched the highlights?
They didn't look really good at all until the second half. It was, I don't know if it was just like you said, the tempo or what it was, but came out like they weren't ready at all. I don't know if it was just we're playing with USF or UCF.
Yeah, USF.
Okay, if we're just like it's USF or whatever, let's just roll them, and they weren't mentally prepared or what it was, but they locked in that second half, and 42-16 afterwards they didn't score another point, and then they ran away with it. But that it's good to get these games out the way now and come out like, the 18-16 or whatever, because if you go into SEC play and you have the same type of performance like you have in the first half against the SEC team, that could be easily like 30-0.
Facts.
Real quick. Yeah, so it's good to get this out the way right now, just so you can fix like, okay, I didn't prepare enough mentally for this, or I underestimated them. I got to lock in every game because it's any given Saturday. Shoot, anybody can come in here and beat us. But and then we got to clean up those penalties, man. Good night. That was I don't ever expect Alabama to be penalized like that at all. So I was kind of surprised that was happening. So Nick Saban need to go in there and be a consultant for like this next week and like, hey, y'all need to clean this shit up.
There was somebody. There's a meme on Twitter where a girl's in the crowd. She's like, "Fix this shit now."
That's what I'm saying. Like they won the game, but people are still pissed because they did not look good at all.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, because Alabama, they expect, especially penalties, bro. Like discipline. You know what I mean? Like, gotta be disciplined. But yeah, man. Alabama pulls it out. We go and play Wisconsin next week. Got to go to Wisconsin, a business trip. Okay. Yeah, that's a game we need. That'll be a test.
Better lock in, or Wisconsin's gonna run all over ya.
Yeah. Okay. Tyler Van Dyke, I bet. Yeah. Okay.
USF. What we talking about right now?
Okay, you're taking Byron. Tyler Van Dyke was at Miami and transferred. Transferred from Miami. He couldn't make it in Miami. He had to go to a Pac pro team, and they barely beat South Dakota. But I'm not going to overstate. I'm not going to undermine my opponent. You know what I mean?
This is what Alabama be doing, and that's when y'all go down 18-16.
Okay, so look, man, we'll be all right. We'll be all right.
All right.
But we got to come back to the hometown state, right? Hopefully, I was to have G talk about this because I did pick against both of you. I picked Michigan to win this game, and I don't know why.
Let me get on my soapbox.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead and give your
the fact that you thought that shaky ass offense was gonna go and beat Texas is mind-boggling, bro. They looked even more trash than they looked week one, and that's because we have this quarterback that nobody has film on. It's our secret weapon, yada yada yada. Where was that? I didn't see anything that showed me that they are even a top 25 team, bro. Michigan. Also their national championship returning defense apparently was supposed to hold for all 4 quarters. I don't know about that. What was the score? 30-10 or something like that? I wish I had this. 31-12. Oh, that was a great defense. Whew, man. Look, national championship defense at that, according to Charles right here, that they was going to shut down Texas's, everything. Run game, receivers, all that. And then Michigan was going to figure it out on offense with whatever quarterback wants to show up that Saturday. Somebody from the stands, who knows? They don't know who they want to play at quarterback. And then also their returning running back. Anywho, besides all that, I knew this game was not going to be close at all. Michigan has no identity. Everyone's gone to the league besides, their defense, and their defense can only hold for so long. So anyway, I told you this was going to happen, but hey, whatever.
Before the game, I was like, I should have chose Texas because what if their offensive line is the best offensive line in SEC, right? And what if Michigan's defensive line can't withstand it 4 quarters? They couldn't even withstand it 1 quarter, all right? And Texas was playing Boosie Set It Off while they were watching Michigan run out. The equipment manager was singing it bar for bar. There's a video of her singing Set It Off by Boosie bar for bar. At that moment, I knew I made the wrong pick, and I apologize. I apologize to the fans. You feel me? I apologize to the Longhorn Society. My bad. I did not know that Ewers, a fifth-year quarterback, was going to look so poised and make so many great decisions in Ann Arbor. I didn't. I thought he would be shaken just a little bit. Not a lot, but just a little bit, right? I thought Texas offensive line wouldn't whip Michigan's all-star defensive line like it was nothing. They ran the ball efficiently, got third downs efficiently. Like, and to be honest with you, bro, like the whole time I'm listening to this, I'm like, who is Helm? When did Helm become the biggest target for viewers? And I was like, where have you been this whole time, right? Where were you last week? You had Helm as a tight end. Ryan Wingo, the freshman,
yeah.
is a sprinter. He's a track star. You feel me? Golden, Bond, Wisner, Blue. There's so many horses in that stable in Texas. It's ridiculous, bro. They look like they look, to be honest with you, they look like the best team in the SEC. Because Georgia had a tough time with Clemson in the first half, and then they picked it up the second half. Texas has ran through people easily.
Good thing G couldn't make it tonight because he probably would have had a lot more to say.
G would have tore me a new one. You feel me?
But I knew it wasn't going to be a game. The way Michigan looked on offense playing, I forgot who they played week 1, but the way they looked against them and they only scored 30 points, I was like, yeah, this is a dub for Texas.
Michigan has no identity. They don't have a great quarterback. Mm-mm. They don't. All they have is Loveland, who's a great tight end, right? And I don't think he'll be there. Anyway, they did hype up their defense. To be honest with you, Michigan may have a tough time with a lot of teams in the Big Ten this year.
Like I said, I think they go like 4-8, bro.
Sharon Moore 4-8 in the first year. Michigan being a fall guy. I know one thing: they better get a quarterback next year. Yeah. I mean, quick in a fucking hurry. Yeah. They better get one, right? So, speaking, we'll go ahead and put a pin in that, but we're going to stay in the SEC, right? The SEC always says it means more, all right? It means more over here. So, I don't understand how Cal went to Auburn and lost. Well, Cal went to Auburn and won if it means more. Yeah. 21-14, Auburn loses to Cal at home.
That was another team that didn't look good at all. Coming from week 1, how Auburn looked to playing Cal, so many turnovers, bro. I don't know how many picks he threw. I want to say it was like 4 picks. I can't remember exactly. But it made Cal's defense look like the Legion of Boom out there just shutting them down. But yeah, Auburn, it should have been an easy win. But again, underestimating these teams is any given Saturday, and Cal came out to play last night, yeah. And, put it on Auburn. It's unfortunate for Auburn, but I loved it. If these teams can go in there and beat these SEC teams, by all means do it. Except for Texas. Texas, let's run the table. But other than that, beat any other SEC team, and I'm down for it. So, yeah.
Bro, Mendoza to Naziah Hunter connection all game for Cal. And Naziah Hunter's a freshman. He's a freshman, bro. Cal beat Auburn. Cal beat an SEC team in the trenches. And they didn't commit turnovers that bad, right?
Yep.
And really, that was the deciding factor of the game. Peyton Thorne had 4 interceptions, like you said. He had so many. Yeah. And 2 of them were in the fourth quarter in crunch time to try to tie the game.
Mm-hmm.
Mendoza, 25-36, 233 yards, no interceptions. Peyton Thorne, 14 of 27, 165 yards, 4 interceptions. Jaquez Hunter, the running back from Auburn, was 12 of 68 carries. 12 carries, 68 yards. I mean, they couldn't run against Cal. We're talking about a bottom team in the Pac-12 last year, and you couldn't run against Cal.
Is
You
Cal
know
for
how
real?
far that plane ride is from California to Auburn to Alabama? Them boys had jet lag and still beat them. That's crazy.
Is this more of Cal being better this year, or just Auburn just shit in the bed?
You know, I wasn't wait to say this at the end. Any given Saturday, anybody can win. Any given Saturday. I don't even want to say the SEC is the best league or the Big Ten has the best offensive line. Any given Saturday, when the two collide, the best will win. Whoever has the best game plan and executes the best will win. Because I'm telling you right now, Cal beating Auburn was not on my bingo card. I'm telling you, if I could have bet, if I was in a betting state, I would have put $100 on Auburn to beat Cal, and I would be throwing my PS5 controller right now if I was watching that game. Absolutely crazy, but it was a big win for Cal in the Big 12, right?
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, it's their coach's fault. Auburn coach Freeze. He didn't get
Wait, they're in the Big 12?
yeah.
Cal is?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, dang. I didn't know they're in the Big 12. Shoot.
Wait, am I mistaken?
I don't know. I'm looking right now. I don't remember them being in the Big 12. That's crazy.
No, I thought they were in the Big 12 or no, they're not in the Big 10.
But they're the ACC.
Wow, that's even worse. Okay, let me take a step back.
Yeah, because I was like, the Big 12 doesn't sound right.
You're telling me Cal be... Oh, that changes a lot. Because Florida State is absolutely Swiss cheese. And you telling me Cal plays Florida State, maybe?
Mm-hmm. 21st.
Yeah. Okay, round that up. We'll come back to that one day. But big win for Cal in the ACC, as I stand corrected, right? But yeah, the loss is really
State.
You said what?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't hear you. My bad.
I said in 2 weeks they play Florida State.
Oh, okay. But yeah, I see them and Coach. I see them being okay in the ACC. But Coach Freeze for Auburn is the reason that they lost his game. He didn't go get a great quarter, not even a great, but a average quarterback in the transfer portal. He stayed with Peyton Thorne, and Peyton Thorne had a horrible 2024 season. So I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what his plan is, but we shall see. Right?
Yeah.
But go ahead.
I was just going to say it took a lot of my confidence in Auburn going forward after seeing them play against Cal the way they did. Because, I mean, like, the week one, they looked solid. Thorne didn't look – it looked like he grew from last year. But then we go and we let Cal come into Auburn and just – it looks abysmal. He throws 4 picks. Cal really just did whatever they wanted, to be honest. And now I'm just like, maybe Auburn has a losing season. I don't know. I don't know if I'm ready to abandon ship yet or, kind of believe in these freshman wide receivers a few more weeks to see where they stand. But I don't know. It looks shaky now. But I'm gonna hold off for maybe one more week, see how they play, and then maybe I'm just like, you know what? Maybe Auburn is just not who I thought they were.
Man, because yeah, we'll see about that. We'll see about that. It means more again, right? Notre Dame goes to College Station last week, pulls out a win in College Station, in Kyle Field. So let's say, you know what? In NUI, you're right, Northern, University of Illinois, right? We're gonna give you $1.4 million to come to the crib.
I think you meant Northern Illinois.
Yeah. So what did I say? Northern.
You said University of Illinois.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. Retract. Northern Illinois. Notre Dame said, "Hey, come to the crib. We got $1.4 million for you. Get your financials right. Just go in, come to the crib. We know, we don't really have y'all don't really have the talent to mess with us. So go ahead and come on." James, Notre Dame got upset at home, 16-14.
And this is why I thought Texas A&M was gonna pull that win out last week. And A&M going A&M. So, but they did show some of Notre Dame's weaknesses, and Northern Illinois just took advantage and ran with it, bro. I'm really surprised they held on the way they did. I really thought Notre Dame might have squeaked by at the end of it, but kudos to Northern Illinois, bro. To go into Notre Dame and beat them at home is crazy. Even just because it's such a crazy place to play at, and you're Northern Illinois, nobody really believes that you're gonna go beat this powerhouse of a team. So I'm like you said, any given Saturday, but that's probably the one game this past week that I was super surprised about because, man, Notre Dame is they're frauds.
I don't know if they're frauds.
I think they are.
I'm not really saying they're frauds, but look, Northern Illinois had some great explosive plays that definitely put the nail in the coffin. Anterion Brown had a great game. He was 20 carries, 99 yards, but he had 2 big catches for 126 yards, right?
Yeah.
Riley Leonard is who I thought he was. And I'll tell you why. When he was at Duke, he was injury prone, but at Duke, he had a very above average receiving core, okay? He knew that he could get it out. He didn't really have to run that much at Duke. He did when his pocket presence was very great, but at Duke he really didn't have to run that much. Now you bring him to Notre Dame, you got 3 new starting offensive linemen, right? You got a great defense, but you don't have anybody to really throw to. There's nobody you can really throw to and say, yo, go get it. You just got some guys at Notre Dame that made the roster. That's how I look at it. I can't name one Notre Dame receiver that's really like that. You know what I mean? Nobody's caught my surprise. I can name somebody at San Jose State, Nick Nash. He's a baller. But I can't name me one person at Notre Dame. I'm like, yeah, they're going to have to cover him this week, right? Overall, it's what I expected from Riley Leonard. Northern Illinois defense, they had 4 tackles for loss, 2 sacks against that offensive line. Jeremiah Love for Notre Dame only had 79 yards on 11 carries, right?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to mention. Sorry to interrupt you. I forgot to mention what's called in Northern Illinois is special teams blocking 2 kicks.
That was just what I was about to say.
Okay,
those 2 blocked field goals. That was the game.
Mm-hmm.
That was so important. That special teams play that won them the game, right?
Yeah.
It's their first win over an opponent in the top 10 ever. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. They won the MAC in 2021, went to a bowl game last year. The schedule is light. They may make the 12-team playoff spot if they keep playing like this.
I wouldn't be mad at it.
And for Notre Dame, the road does not get any easier, okay? You got Louisville, you got Georgia Tech, you got Florida State, and then you got to go to Cali, and you got to go play USC. That's not you can't lose another game or you're out the playoffs because you're independent. You're not a part of a conference.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. James Franklin, everybody says he has good looking hair, but his coaching ain't up to par, if you ask me. So
one play that was dope for Notre Dame was when what's his name? Was it Lowland? Is that his name?
Yeah,
the running back that he jumped over that dude for the touchdown.
Oh,
Did you see that play?
Yeah.
That's probably the only bright spot for Notre Dame in that game. But yeah, don't special teams, bro. It's 2 games already with special teams has been just crucial in these wins from Oregon with the punt return and the kick return, and then to this game with 2 blocked field goals. People need to every aspect of the game you gotta be perfect at. You gotta be great at it, and you'll see stuff like this, and it'll cost you a game easily. So it's Notre Dame. They need to go back to the drawing board and like just reevaluate their special teams and figure out who they want to throw the ball to as their receivers and stuff, because you can't depend on Loveland for everything. So they got to find a receiver for themselves.
I'm telling you, it's going to come back to hurt them, bro. I mean, to be honest with you, I say they lose 4 games this year, 8-4 record. I see them losing. Yeah, I see them losing to USC. I see them losing to Louisville. I see them losing to Georgia Tech, and I see them losing to Florida State.
To Florida State?
Yeah, I see them listen. Hopefully they get it figured out by then, bro. I mean, if Florida State don't get it figured out by week 10, everybody may lose their job. Okay, everybody. So, yeah, man. Great win for Northern Illinois. Great win for the coach. He was really emotional, saying that, he didn't take transfers. Nobody didn't really transfer out. Like, everybody's in homegrown, right? It means more. And he told him, like, there's no luck for us to win this game. It's just all work. Just everybody do your job, and we'll come out with a win.
Yeah.
That's what happened. They did their job, and they came out with a win.
For sure.
So that was good. Now we head to the Crazy Bowl. The Cyhawk Trophy is what they were battling for in Ames, Iowa. They were battling for. And it came back to Ames, Iowa with Iowa State because they beat Iowa in a nail-biter, okay? Like you said, special teams is important. Very important. But also stopping somebody from scoring almost 20 unanswered points is very important. Because Iowa had them first half.
Mm-hmm.
Iowa was like, yo, the trophy been ours for like the last, 6 years? Like, it's staying home. Bichette said, you know what? Let me be a leader, okay? Let me be a leader of my team and let me really start putting in the work. They scored 20, almost 20. It was 20 points to 6 points in the second half. Iowa State scores 20 points, and they end up with the win 20-19. They kick a game-winning field goal. Mind you, Iowa missed a field goal earlier in the game. Iowa kicks a game-winning field goal, wins the game. The Cy-Hawk Trophy goes back to Ames. Tell me, how do you feel about Iowa State in the Big 12 after seeing this game?
Well, I still don't know how great they're gonna be. It's the Big 12 is like, it's super competitive. Everybody just beats each other up. So I can maybe see them winning. Maybe I feel that they'll beat Baylor, beat Colorado, beat Tech. I think they may lose to Kansas at Kansas State. Oklahoma State beats them too, and Utah. But I think they can still be really competitive. They can give some people a scare and everything, but I don't know if they have the talent to beat a lot of these Big 12 teams, but they can give them a little spook, just like, hey, we here. But they may not be able to get over that hump, you know what I mean? Because I'm going into this game. I mean, it looked like they were going to run away with it. They were running the ball really well. I forget the running back, his name for Iowa, but number 2, he was running the ball crazy. And for them to drop the ball in the second half and let them come back, that's what I think will lead them to kind of scare some of these Big 12 teams going forward. But I think the Big 12 is more. I'm not going to say more talented. I'm going to say more offensively gifted than Iowa is. Yeah, so that's why I don't think they can make it close, but I don't see them, pulling out a win like they did against Iowa, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I understand that. This game was interesting. I watched it like all the way through. I was like, this is a boring ass game, but Iowa State came back, and I was like, I'm here. I'm here for the madness. Yeah. I'm here for it, right? So, yeah, that was a great game. So, shout out to Iowa State bringing the Cy-Hawk Trophy back to Ames. Another upset right? Now, when we go to the Big 12, their thing is really it means more. Kind of the Big 12 is really open. You got so many teams, but Kansas against Illinois, they get upset. They get Illinois upsets Kansas.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons they upset Kansas is because Kansas quarterback Jalen Daniels struggled the whole game. Absolutely struggled the whole game. But Illinois might have one of the best wide receivers.
I was gonna say that. I said they offensively they look hella good, bro. I don't know the receiver's name.
Zachariah Franklin
Yeah.
is a gem. I don't know what year he's in. I don't know if he's a junior or what rank he's in. But if he's anything under a sophomore, they better pay that man a lot of money to stay. Because if not, he's going to be a transfer portal gem, bro.
Mm-hmm.
The one-headed catch he made, bro was tugging on his shirt like this the whole time. And he made a one-handed catch. I said, you're special. You are special. If I was in NCAA 25, I'd throw the whole bag at him, for sure.
Nah, bro. Look, he made that look easy, too. It wasn't like he struggled to get that one. He just brought that ball in easily, dude. That's all one of the real good things for Illinois is against Kansas. And like you said, Kansas struggled, whatever, but Illinois looked poised on offense. They were moving on the ball on all cylinders and everything. And Kansas, I mean, I don't know. I think they still could have won, but you know, they kept shooting themselves in the foot, dude. And a lot of these games this Saturday, is a lot of that just shooting yourself in the foot and just like holding yourself back, and that's how you lose the game. And that's what Kansas did. Like you said, Daniels, he struggled the whole time, but
3 interceptions.
I thought he could have like picked it up in the fourth, you know, and then they, you know, bring it home. But Illinois, you know, they kept their foot on the gas and they beat Kansas, and it is what it is. You go from Northern Illinois beating Notre Dame, Illinois beating Kansas. I don't know what's going on in Illinois, but hey, they winning.
I don't know. You're right, because I'm telling you for sure, Northern Illinois and Illinois, something's in the Illinois air. You feel me? The water down there is different this week. When they were practicing, some super like perk juice must have got in their system or something, right?
Yeah, bro. I don't know what it was.
They came out swinging. Another team that we expected to come out swinging, but kind of this week we knew what was going to happen. We kind of knew that Colorado was going into Lincoln, and we could either have a game or there was going to be a lot of Colorado Buffalo blood everywhere.
Time out. We? No, I knew they were going to lose. Don't put that on me.
I tried to sneak that one in there.
Nah.
I couldn't get that one by James.
Nebraska was gonna whoop their ass. And what happened? They were shut out almost the whole game.
Bro. Hutchmaker from Nebraska is like a all-conference wrestler. Like, that's what he does. That's his profession. That's why he came to Nebraska. His like side gig is playing the 2 technique on the defensive line. And he does that so well. And I don't know if it's Colorado's offensive line is so trash or if he's really like that, right? But I'm going to say both because, listen, James, I'm going to say it, and I tried to stick with Colorado. I defended them, all right? I defended them the first game. I said, let's get some real competition, okay? Let's get to real competition and see if it's really that bad or if it has progressed. The Deion experiment is over. You can't transfer portal a whole offensive line in, and your son's getting on his ass six times a game, right? Fedora got sacked 6 times. I think 4 came in the first half. You can't run the ball. Everybody knows you're going to pass. You think you can scheme up something where, like, okay, you know, they'll pass, or maybe they'll expect to draw. You didn't try to run the ball at all. You went forward on 4th and 1 on the first drive, and you didn't think them boys was gonna stop you. They stuffed you like a Twinkie. You feel me? Them boys in Nebraska, Lincoln eat they beanies and weenies. They was not playing with them boys. The first touchdown they scored, they let a stadium full of red balloons go. That should have told you right there. Like on Hangover when Doug calls, he said, "Yeah, we might have fucked up." You know what I mean? That's exactly what I was like. I called some people. I was like, I talked with Colorado. I was like, yeah, we might have fucked up. Okay, this isn't it. The experiment's over. Shador was wasted. Travis Hunter was extremely wasted. He would have went to Florida State. Don't know how better the situation would have been for him, but I'm pretty sure it would have been way better than what's happening in Colorado. He's going to be a high draft pick. If I was him, stay healthy, do what I can, make my highlights, because he gets outcoached. Deion gets outcoached by almost every team.
Pat Mahomes 2.0 was out there running for his life. Let me say something about this dude real quick. Why is he so like? I don't even know what the good word for it is without sounding terrible. I guess just like almost copying all of Pat Mahomes' like the hair, the number, the flat jacket, the get ready shit. Just every little ounce of Pat Mahomes does to get ready before a game. What's his name? Did the same thing. Even the run to the end zone, jump, and like yell at the crowd. Every beat for beat, bar for bar, Pat Mahomes right there. I was like, what is going on over there? Maybe that's his idol, I guess. But I'm like, all right, man, you got to have your own identity. But either way, he still played well. But I was just kind of confused by that. What were you gonna say?
He tapped in. He tapped in. What a lot of people don't know is Dylan Raiola, uncle, is the offensive line coach for Nebraska. That's one of the reasons he flipped from Georgia to Nebraska, was because connections. Basically, his uncle was up there coaching offensive line. He's a freshman that put up, let me check the stats one more time just so I can make sure, okay? 23 for 30, 185 yards on what Colorado said was one of the best secondaries they ever had. A freshman. All right. Pat Mahomes 2.0, he can do everything he wants to do. If he want to go get him a white girl like Pat Mahomes, you feel me? Go do that. All right. But Nebraska will surprise a lot of people in the Big Ten this year. And Colorado will, like I had a dream. I told y'all on Twitter, I had a dream Colorado wins 1-11. 1-11.
1-11?
1-11.
And I told you week one, I said they look the exact same that they did last year, but you didn't want to believe it. They look exactly the same.
Jesus.
I did not expect them to do any after that scare with North Dakota State. I said, okay, yeah, it's a wrap for them this season. If North Dakota State is moving the ball like this against you, against this supposed best secondaries Colorado's ever had, and you revamp the offensive line, still getting sacked 6 times, yeah, it's a wrap. And like you said, I hate to be that person and to say it again, but I think the Deion Sanders experiment is gone. I think it's done. Because what was the contract? 4 years that he signed? Or how long was it?
4.
You have to buy it out.
3 years. 3 years.
Buyout.
Listen, if the Deion experiment is done, does he go to coach at Florida when Billy Napier gets fired?
Why would Florida want to hire him from what they just saw him do in Colorado?
Because he has to recruit. He has to. You can't just put stuff together at Florida. He has to recruit because he doesn't have a Shador. He'll have Lagway, but Lagway needs to be coached. He won't have a Travis Hunter. He's going to have to recruit. He'll be in somewhat his element, I guess you could say.
I don't know.
Because Florida, he recruited. He was in Jacksonville. He played, coached down there, or Jackson State. So
I don't know. If I'm Florida, I'm not looking at Deion Sanders if that's the case. we don't even know if Lagway's going to come back next year or not, to be honest, either. So I don't know. If I'm Florida, I'm looking elsewhere. I don't know where, but I wouldn't. After seeing what Colorado did with Deion Sanders and all these transfers, so he may have that, that talk to bring in recruits, but he had the same thing going on with Colorado too, and look what's going on over there. There's still not a cohesive team. The offensive line is still shaky. Defense, there's barely any type of defense. They let Nebraska put up 28 easily. If Nebraska wanted to, they could have let their foot on the gas and put up 55 if they wanted to. There's nothing in Colorado that's besides, Travis Hunter that tells me they're gonna have a winning season. And if I'm, boosters or athletic director at another school and, he does get bought out, there's nothing from what he did in Colorado besides, bringing transfers in, and they're not even all like solid transfers that would make me want to hire Deion Sanders as a head coach. Maybe a consultant, maybe that, but as a head coach again, I wouldn't do it.
Well, 1-11 is what I got pinned for the season, right? So we'll see how that goes. All my Colorado listeners, it may sound harsh, but you gotta look yourself in the mirror and come to the realization that you got swindled. I thought Jimbo Fisher got a bag out of Texas A&M, which he did, but Deion Sanders might be scammer of the goddamn year. With what he promised you, because he promised you Louis. He said he had Louis coming. He kicked out people that wasn't Louis, and all he did was bring in some Abercrombie and Fitch, if you ask me. So, especially on them trenches, because
it looks good on paper, but once it gets down to game time,
absolutely bad.
Yep.
Now,
unfortunate.
We got to go to a team that you did believe in last week. Okay. You believed in Kentucky.
Man, listen here.
Wait. We didn't believe in South Carolina. We believed in Kentucky. We said, you know what? Kentucky looks great. Vandegrift looks great. South Carolina, Sellers is absolutely an despicable quarterback, right? That's what we said last week and up to this game. The only positive that we had was Dylan Stewart, the freshman edge runner, was probably the best edge runner in the nation. He was only a freshman.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened, but you tell me what you think happened.
Kentucky offense just didn't show up. So, listen, okay. Sellers still didn't play very well. He threw 11-15, 159, 2 touchdowns in an interception. But what did I say? He's not throwing over 200 yards at any game. But what's it called? South Carolina's defense and that freshman, bro, their defense may carry them in the, what's it called, SEC to a point. You still got to score points on offense. But for Kentucky, man, they didn't look good at all on offense. This dude, Vandegrift, 3 for 10, 30 yards and an interception.
3 for 10, the whole game.
The whole game, bro. And then Sumo, 17 carries, 70 yards. Patterson, 10 carries for 45. He had 2 receptions for 36 yards. And then the next 3 receivers had 2, 1, 1. And then the yards were 3, 3, and 2. You're not winning anything with those type of numbers on offense, bro. South Carolina came to play, or at least their defense, because their defense is what really shined out there. I mean, their offense, they did score here and there, but Sellers still didn't look as good as I would like. He still looks super shaky, bro. And like I said, their defense is going to carry them as far as they can, but I don't know. South Carolina, all I can talk about is their defense. Offense is still wishy-washy. So what do you think?
Not perfect from Sellers. A slight improvement, a slight. When I mean slight, I mean like when you charge your phone and it says 70% and then it goes 80, like 79%, it's yellow,
Mm-hmm.
and then it goes 80%, it's like, okay, you're somewhat charged. That's
Yeah.
the slight that I mean, okay? Dylan Stewart is an absolute animal. We had a guy last year who was an absolute animal off the edge. David
Mm-hmm.
Bain, from Miami. Dylan Stewart's 100%, like 100 times better.
Yeah.
So, to be honest with you, South Carolina defense can hold, and Sellers can just keep getting a 1% better every day. You know how we tell
Yeah.
ourselves, get 1% better every day. They can be okay. They can make a bowl. Am I saying
Yeah.
the playoff, win the SEC?
Yeah.
Absolutely not. Right? Absolutely not. Because somebody's going to figure out a way to block that freshman, or he's going to go against a left tackle that's like, or a right tackle, like, all right, you
Yeah.
want to play? Let's play then. You know what I mean? They go and play LSU next week. It's probably the big game of the week. Okay. I don't know. I have to see how they do next week because LSU secondary is absolutely mind-boggling, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Defensive line isn't that great either. So if he can have a big game against LSU, maybe I could buy a half a share. Not full. Okay, I could buy a half a share of South Carolina and Sellers.
Sellers or have a big game, or the freshmen have a big game?
Sellers. I believe the freshman will have a big. He's going to actually against the number one offensive tackle next week, Campbell. So
I'm still not ready to buy in on this South Carolina offense. I think LSU still wins, but it's going to be a close one because the South Carolina's defense is solid. So I think they'll keep it close. But I think LSU still finds a way to pull it out. But yeah, I mean, if I agree, if he can get better every week, they can make a bowl. And then the Texas Bowl, or the Texaco Route 66 Bowl or something like that.
The Mayo Bowl.
Yeah, something like that. The Pop-Tart Bowl. They can make something, but yeah. But yeah, the playoffs, you're going to have to find another quarterback before y'all even think about a playoff run.
Now, I will say this. We can say that right now. And if they go to LSU next week and absolutely murder him and he throws like for 300 yards, I'm coming back to this podcast and I'm letting you know right now, I don't know anything.
Yeah.
I would basically say, I don't know. Like, you're listening to me for shit and giggles at this point. Yeah. Because I don't know anything. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Because, we'll see. Now we'll go to our last team. And this one kind of hits hard because we really talked about this game battling, because you went at Oklahoma State and I went at Arkansas. Mm-hmm. Arkansas was whooping ass. I was gloating.
Yeah,
I ain't gonna lie to you. I was gloating. I was texting you like, I don't know, James. Them boys is getting their ass whooped. I was gloating on Twitter. I was like, we was holding. Ollie Gordon only had 20 yards in the first half. I was like, this is cake. We good. James, as we've always said, we said a couple of times on this podcast, you have to be perfect in every aspect of the game. You can't muff a punt in the fourth quarter when Oklahoma State is coming back. You muffed a punt. Yeah. You gave them all the momentum.
Well, I think they already had the momentum on their side even before that muff punt, because they were already scoring, and I think that just gave them the ball back. And actually, like, I don't even know what the word for it to say. I want to say, I don't know, but either way, I think they already had that momentum going into that, and then that just gave them that much more of an edge.
Bro, I don't listen. Ollie Gordon didn't even have that great of a game. Okay. Ollie Gordon was 17 carries for 49 yards. That's not Heisman material. That's like we won material, That's not Heisman material. And then for me, another wide receiver that I'm putting on my board, right? Putting the gold star to his name. Who the hell is Andrew Armstrong? Where did Andrew Armstrong come from? 10 receptions, 164 yards, cutting them boys up on the Oklahoma State secondary. Never heard of him. Wasn't in my preview.
Arkansas doesn't look bad at all. Oklahoma State just has a lot of firepower, but Arkansas, their run game, solid. Their pass game, solid. I think they can make some noise in the SEC moving forward. There's no fault to them. Like 2 overtimes and everything. I know you did have the lead and stuff, but Oklahoma State is going to Oklahoma State. They air raid 5 wide. Let's come back. You know, the Big 12 offense type shit. So I know you don't see that a lot in the SEC with, you know, these pro style offenses and run the ball down your throat. But you play a Big 12 team and they get down at 10, 17 points, no backfield, 5 wide, throwing the ball. Yeah. Tempo. We're picking it up now. And it's hard to adjust to that when you play a certain type of teams in the SEC and stuff. And I think that's why Texas, they'll make some noise too coming from the Big 12, because if they're down a little bit, and they'll fucking put the 5 wide out too and just sling that thing. And SEC is not used to seeing that type of air raid offense, and you see that with Arkansas. They had no answer for it, because it's just too fast of an offense for a team that doesn't see that year in and year out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But kudos to Oklahoma State though for coming back, because it did not look good for me, for my pick, because Arkansas was going crazy that first half.
Bro, I was like, my picks, I was like, all right, you know, I lose a couple of my picks, but I need this. I need this Arkansas. I need Oklahoma. I need this game. I click over the TV. I'm like, oh, we good. I'm watching other games. I'm checking the score on my phone. I'm like, what is going on right now?
Yeah. And Bowman, because he used to be at Tech for a little bit. And
you know how long he's been in the league? Since the Obama administration. Goddamn.
I didn't even, because I recognized his name, but I was like, what do I know this dude from? And then they said his teams. He played, what was it, Duke, Tech, and then now he's over here. And I was like, that's where I remember him from, was at Tech, because I think he got hurt. And then the Tech quarterback now, Morton, took his spot because he got hurt or whatever. But he was slinging that thing. He was all over the field on that second half. Like I said, that 5 wide, let's go. Let's tempo. Let's move this ball. We got to come back as fast as we can. It's just, I mean, that's why what's his name? Ollie Gordon didn't have over 100 yards, because the second half they had to come back. So they wasn't no running the ball. He's like, hey, you gonna sit here on the sidelines and watch this game with me, because we about to sling this shit all over the field till we come back.
Getting shit done right now.
Yeah.
Crazy. But yeah, man, what a great set of games this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of upsets, a lot of improvement needed from a lot of teams going into next week. But as always at the end of the show, what are your hot takes? What do you got for me that we can go ahead and end the show with? Tell me something that I need to think of.
Something you need. Okay. So, you see Colorado with the escape from North Dakota State, and then you see them get blown out by Nebraska. Do they somehow turn it around and run the Big 12? And these are just hot takes I'm throwing out there. I don't even believe in it, but I'm just throwing it out there to you.
Okay, here I have a crazy scenario, because obviously, one, I already told you I don't believe. I think the Deion experiment's over. Okay, here's my crazy theory. They have a shootout every game from now on. They put Hayden in instead of whoever the first team running back is, the small little guy, whoever his name is. They put Hayden in. They game play some stretch plays or some zone read plays, right? If they can average 100 yards on the ground, that'll kind of ease up for one Shador to have more play action. and for him to basically not get rushed. And they got to go to work on that offensive line scheme, the blocking scheme. If that can happen, which I'm like 15% right now, all right, 15% that they will happen, they won't run the table, but they'll make a bowl game. Running the table was never happening. I just wanted a bowl game.
Yeah.
Running the table was never in my dream. You never on my board with him running the table. So running the table, no.
Go ahead. No, finish your thought, and I'll get back to it.
Running the table, no. Bowl game. They could get what I said if they could do. I believe they can make a bowl game. Highly unlikely, but 50% chance they make a bowl game.
Before I continue, I forgot to bring this up. Oh, what happened to Baylor? What happened to that game that you believe in them so much?
Listen, Cam Rising he was in the Obama administration. How am I supposed to win a quarterback that was playing since the Obama administration? You let me know that.
No, I'm just asking, bro, because you were so high on Baylor. I didn't see too much. I was high on Baylor.
That's you said correct. I was high off of Baylor. I was skyrocket high. I don't know what I was smoking, but I was high as shit on Baylor, and I don't know why. Disappointed. Their coach is on the hot seat for sure.
I don't know what you saw in them, but I was like, I don't see them losing at all. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So you see what Oklahoma State did with Arkansas and how they can, air it out anytime they want if they really want to do that. Do you think they beat a Utah, Arizona, and stuff like those type of teams?
Arizona was shaky last night.
Well, because you see those two teams, they come from the Pac-12, so they know this dick and dump 4 wide, 5 wide type of offenses, and let's run it up. So do you think this air raid offense that's a little bit more downfield throwing instead of like dick and dump, you think they can handle that type of offense?
Yeah. I think that Arkansas showed you that Ollie Gordon can be stopped, and then they have to do the 5 wideouts, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I think teams are going to now be prepared for that. Like when we stop the run, we already know what they're going to go to. We already know how they're going to try to beat us. And the Pac-12 has been doing that for as long as the Pac-12 has been alive, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I don't believe they'll be able to run the table or, like you said, be able to beat Arizona or Utah. Utah has a great defense. Them boys is tough. So, no.
I don't know. This is one I'm kind of like, I think Oklahoma State. Well, that's if Bowman stays poised, because I know he can have games like this, and he can have terrible games as well. So if he can be poised in some of these, Arizona or Utah type of games, and they're down, I don't know. I think they can do the same thing that they did with Arkansas. I mean, they went and played. Well, no, they played in Oklahoma State. Never mind. They played an SEC team of Arkansas and came back. So these teams that come from the Pac-12, I don't know. I feel like they could still beat them. I'm kind of high on Kansas State and Oklahoma State kind of running the Big 12. Kansas State still looks solid. Oklahoma State they won. So I'm gonna keep. I'm gonna keep saying they look.
Solid is crazy.
Hey, it is what it is. But I think those two teams, for me at least, I think they can run the Big 12 because I mean, Tech is abysmal. TCU trash. Baylor didn't look good. Utah, Arizona was shaky, but I don't know. I think it's between those 4 teams for me, but I digress because, like you said, Kansas State, but I think they're still a front runner for the Big 12 championship.
Kansas State let Tulane run. Let me check my notes real quick.
I picked Tulane too.
That's why I'm looking at you crazy.
No, I picked Tulane, but hey, they're not a Big 12 team, so it is what it is.
You're right. They are the Big 12 team, but you're saying that the Pac-12 teams that came to the Big 12 teams are more air raid, and they let Tulane throw 342 yards on them.
Well, I didn't say they had a defense. You know how the Big 12 is.
You know what? You are right. You said they just look solid. You're right. Solid on offense, and then the foundation is cracking on defense. I understand.
I never said that any Big 12 teams have a defense besides Utah. And Utah hasn't played in the Big 12 yet to see how if they will get exposed with these air raid offenses that the Big 12 brings. Once I see them play like, Oklahoma State or Tech or TCU Baylor and see how they handle all these passing attempts and everything, then I could talk about, okay, Utah has that solid defense that'll shut down these type of offenses. But if you play in the Big 12, I automatically assume you'll throw the ball 40 times and one of your quarterbacks will throw for like 500. But your defense is going to give up 600 yards on the other hand. So you got to put up points. So
I think you should have more faith in Utah's defense. That's their identity of being solid. So
yeah, and that's what I keep hearing and stuff. So I'm ready for them to play. Who's their first like Big 12 team they play?
Utah's first Big 12 that they played? I don't know, bro.
I'm looking right now. I want to see who.
Baylor.
Oh, they play Baylor. I'm tripping, bro. We just talked about this. I'm stupid as hell. Yeah, so I think I recant what I just said.
They struggled against Baylor.
Yeah, because like Cam Rising only had 92 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, so
but Bernard had 19 carries for 118. So let me recant my statement and let me say if they play Oklahoma State or Kansas State. I'll say that. I won't say the whole Big 12.
They play Oklahoma State on the 21st at Oklahoma State. Then they play Arizona on the 28th, and they got to go to Arizona. Well, they play in Utah, sorry.
So, okay, so the big games that I'll be watching them for is the Arizona State game, because Arizona State is, for some reason, just putting up points. I didn't even know they had a offense over there.
Most improved team of 2024, for sure.
Yeah. I'll be watching them for the Oklahoma State game, the Arizona State game, Arizona game. Dang, they got 3 back-to-back tough games. And then the Iowa State and UCF games. I think those are going to be their toughest games. Because, I mean, Colorado, whatever. BYU, whatever. Houston, TCU, yeah. So, they have 3 upcoming games that are going to be tough games to play. So, where they play at?
One's away and one's at home in September.
So they play in Stillwater against Oklahoma State, and then they play
Arizona and Utah.
In Utah, okay, and then Arizona State.
Arizona State and Arizona State.
Sheesh.
So we'll get to see by the end of September. We should know a lot about a lot of teams, right?
Yeah, we're gonna learn a lot about the teams that I just mentioned: Utah, Oklahoma State, Arizona, and they don't even play Kansas State. So if they run into them in the conference championship, then we'll see what's up. But Utah, Oklahoma State, and Arizona, we'll figure out a lot about them these coming few weeks because I didn't know they had a 3-game stretch like that. That's crazy.
Everybody got stretches like that, man, because there's no conferences anymore. Everybody got rid of conferences, so it's may the best man win.
Yeah. Okay. Back to my hot takes. I got 2 more. I didn't mean to get into a tangent about the Big 12, but seeing how Oregon has played these past 2 games, what are your expectations for them going forward into the Big 10? There's not even hot takes. There's mostly just questions for me because there's not really that many hot takes that I have this week. Maybe I have some next week though.
They can be top of the Big 10. It's just an offensive line. I don't know when y'all will be getting your offensive line back, like the big, so. Because y'all are down like with 3 offensive linemen right now? So
something like that.
We don't look, Dylan Raiola is gonna be Dylan Raiola. And it seems that y'all can't stop the number 1 running back in the country, but y'all aren't gonna play the number 1 running back in the country every week, right? Yeah. So y'all got Oregon State next. That's a state rivalry. You should win that. Even though they're 2-0, they really haven't played anybody. Then you go to UCLA. You got to go to LA. Crazier things happen in LA. Do I think UCLA can give y'all a battle? No. If you let UCLA beat you, will I be on this podcast not letting you live it down? Absolutely yes. Then in October you go play Michigan State. That's a win for you. Then this is where it starts. Here's your hard stretch. Ohio State. They have a great defensive line. They got a high-powered offense. Purdue. Haven't really seen Purdue play a lot, but I'm pretty sure they're going to be ready for you. Illinois. I've seen Illinois play, and them boys can play. Okay. November, you play Michigan. In Michigan, I don't know. It's a toss-up. I'm not giving y'all that game because it's Michigan. Okay. Maryland, you win. Wisconsin, probably win. Washington, y'all have never beat Washington in last year, so I'm taking an L for y'all, even though they lost.
That's crazy.
So, will you make the Big Ten championship? Yeah, you'll make it. Will you lose to Ohio State in it? Yeah, you'll lose to Ohio State. Will you make the 12-team playoff? You'll make the 12-team playoff. Will you lose in the first round? You'll lose in the first round. That's my theory. That's how I see our season going.
Oh, shit. Okay. Last one, and you already have mentioned them, but how far do you think Nebraska rides?
A long way. I think Nebraska will surprise a lot of people. Matt Rule, a great coach, really has implemented a great culture and recruited well, developed well. So you got a quarterback now because last year he had Sims. Sims transferred and didn't even get a job where he transferred to. So
that's crazy.
Exactly. Right? You play UNI next. You play Illinois. Like we said, Illinois is a good team, but you play Illinois at home. At home is where you cook because I don't think no one's beating Nebraska at home. You go play Purdue. We really don't know where Purdue is. Play Rutgers. You play Indiana. Then you got to go to Ohio State. Now, in October, we'll figure out what they're made of. Then November, UCLA comes to you. And then you got to go play USC. Wisconsin comes to you. And then you got to go to Iowa. Out of that whole stretch, you lose one game. So we're sitting here before what? Before 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Nebraska's 7-0 before they go play Ohio State. Say they lose that game. Okay, 7-1. You go to UCLA, that's 8. Nebraska, USC is a toss-up. That may be a great game. Let's say they win it. That's 9, 10, 11. 11-1. 10-2 the worst. The Nebraska I see, but 11-1. Now listen, if Nebraska end up playing y'all in the playoffs somehow, like some way the Big Ten gets 3 teams in, I'm wearing red that day. I promise you I'm wearing red.
That's crazy.
I got to see that matchup. But if Dylan Raiola keeps channeling his inner Patrick Mahomes and the wrestler keeps clicking hip Homemaker, whatever his name is, in the middle, your boy's not losing. And Matt Rule got them boys right because last year was tough for him personally and with his program. So yeah, they're gonna be all right.
All right. I think that they'll do well too, but I don't know 11-1 or 10-2 good, but I think they'll do good.
Okay, let's put it on the board, right? Let's put it on the board right here. Who has a better record, Nebraska or Michigan?
Nebraska, easily.
Okay. So you said Nebraska has a better Who has a better record, Penn State or Nebraska?
Sheesh.
Makes you think.
I won't doubt them this time. I'll go Penn State.
Boy, you get a new offense coordinator. Everybody believe in you these days. That's crazy.
I'm just saying, bro.
That's wild. Okay. So you say
he's a freshman quarterback.
He's Patrick Mahomes Jr.
All right. It doesn't mean anything. He's still a freshman. When he gets in these big games, we're really going to see what he's made of.
Colorado
And
win the
if
big
I
game?
fuck no, excuse my
Colorado
language.
win the big game?
No, I knew they were gonna go in. Colorado was gonna come to Nebraska and get their ass whooped. I wasn't worried about Nebraska losing.
That's a big game, though. That's a lot of
To who?
attention on you. The crowd is packed. Red
A big
balloons
game.
going everywhere.
A
Loud.
big game for Colorado. Because if they won that game, maybe you might have a solid season. But I knew they weren't gonna win. Nebraska just went in there and handled business. It was just another day, another Saturday for them. Besides with the red balloons and stuff. But I mean, I feel like it's just their first home game. I think.
Listen, that man is from Budford, Georgia. Dylan Raiola went to Budford, Georgia. He transferred from 3 schools before he got to Budford. Decommitted, committed to so many schools. He got to Georgia and then went to Nebraska. Pressure is not on that man's mind. Big games are not on that man's mind. He got one mission, James. One mission to get Nebraska back to the glory days when they had white boys and they Letterman on ESPN. You feel me? That's what he's trying to get to. I got faith in Dylan Raiola. I seen what I needed to see, as people say. Believe in him. Believe in Patrick Mahomes Jr. Because I can tell you right now, if Patrick come out and be like, yeah, that's low, bro, it's over with. It's game.
For who?
It's over with for everybody.
I think he's a solid player, but he is still a freshman. When he plays these Ohio States and stuff like that, we're really gonna see what he's made of. Because it's a different type of environment when you play teams like that.
Cool.
And then
we got another bet. Let's just do another bet. Let's just bet right here. $20 right here. Who you taking, Ohio State or Nebraska?
Ohio State.
I got Nebraska. I'm taking the 20 right now.
Just because, like I said, they're playing at Ohio State, right?
Mm-hmm. That's a big game, right? That's a big game.
So I think they lose that game because he hasn't played in that type of atmosphere. They played Colorado at home. I'm sure I wasn't the only one that expected Nebraska to run through Colorado.
No.
So I don't know how you thought that. It was, like I said, it was a big game for Colorado, but not for Nebraska. Nebraska is just whatever. So when they're moving forward, when they play this like Ohio State, who else is a big game for them? Indiana.
USC.
Okay, USC. Another one. I want to see how he handles those type of games as a freshman. And then I'll eat my words. Like I always do. I will backpedal. I'll bring it back and eat my word and say I was wrong. But it is what it is right now. Until he play, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt after Ohio State if they beat Ohio State and he performs well. Even if they lose and he still performs well, I'll give him his flowers. Because then I know if he can play well at Ohio State, he will play well at USC. So
I'm going to tell you 5 teams I believe in right now, and we'll go. Because going pretty long, but 5 teams I believe in right now. I believe in Georgia. I believe in Miami. Okay. I believe in Texas. I believe in Arizona State for some fucking reason. I believe in Arizona State.
They're putting up points, dude.
And I believe in Nebraska. I believe in Nebraska, so I'll go with that.
Listen, I want Nebraska to be good. It's just he's a freshman, and it just makes me kind of wary of just how far he can take them as a true freshman. You know what I mean? And I think they'll run the table for a minute, but once they play Ohio State and USC and stuff like that, is the real test for him. And I think he will still perform well, but I don't know. I have to see it to believe it.
Give me this. Since we're talking about freshman quarterbacks, DJ Lagway from Florida put up a hell of a game against Samford. Does he get to start, or does Billy Napier bench him for Mertz? They play Texas A&M next.
I let him ride for the rest of the year.
That's a big game. That's the SEC game in the swamp.
I still let him ride for the rest of the year. You saw what happened to Mertz. I don't know how much confidence I have in him if I'm what's his name? Billy Napier. But I don't know. I would let him just go, but that's why I'm not a coach. I could be wrong. But, I mean, they play Sanford as well, so maybe you go ahead and go with Mertz. And if Mertz plays bad, then the rest of the season go with Lagway.
You're playing Texas A&M. You don't have no room to be bad.
I mean, you got to make a decision. I would go with the freshman, but that's just me. I don't know.
Well, we'll do it more into our episodes coming up this week. Guys, we appreciate y'all listening to us tonight. You know, we kind of rambled on these last 20 minutes, but we just got to give you this content. You know what I mean? We got to give you our picks. James got to lose these bets, and Nebraska's got to win the national championship. You know what I mean?
I don't know how many. Wait. Do you have our records for this week?
I haven't tallied up.
Okay.
They'll be tallied Friday, right? When we do our pick episode. You are still leading. Congratulations.
I feel like I killed it.
You didn't kill it, but you are still leading. But yeah, I'll have those up Friday. As you know, guys, we drop episode every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So go ahead and subscribe so you don't miss that when they'll miss your alert when our new episode pops up. Go ahead and tell, a couple of your friends who are at work that watch college football, or, you just want to tell your family members, just, hey, listen to the Over and Under podcast to give good analysis of the game, good hot takes. Just go ahead and let everybody know who does it the best. James, you got anything for the people?
You hit it all. Just keep tuning in every week, guys. We appreciate y'all for listening.
All right, man. We appreciate y'all coming through. As always, it's your boy Charles.
You've been James.
We are out. Deuces.